On Mountain News this morning, a major retail trade association is weighing in on states' masking requirements and encouraging tighter restrictions. Meanwhile, the EPA has given its first approval to a disinfectant capable of killing the coronavirus.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 3 minutes after 6 on this Friday, July the 10th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. Yesterday was a scorcher. Today will be a little bit of the same, just maybe a tad bit cooler. But as we bring Brandon in this morning, he's going to tell us you're not going to feel that relief most likely until tomorrow. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, Will, and you're right. You hit the nail on the head there. We're going to continue to see that cold front move in and move through today, and that's when we'll get just a little bit of relief for the next couple of days, but it's short-lived, which we'll talk more about here in a little bit. But UVA-wise this morning, pretty quiet. Not too much going on in Southwest Virginia or anywhere for that means. We're looking at temperatures in the 60s and 70s across the board. 73 in Prestonsburg, one of our warmer spots, and 67, a pair of those in Harlan and Middlesboro, some of our cooler spots. Irvin there too, just notice that. They're also at 67. Temperatures anywhere between a degree cooler in Harlan this morning, 2 degrees cooler in Wise. Everybody else right where they were yesterday, or a little bit warmer this morning than yesterday. 89 today, so a little cooler overall today. We got to 92 yesterday at National Weather Service Office at Jackson, 91 at the London Corbin Airport. But again, that cold front's going to come through. It's going to ramp up our rain chances, and it will eventually cool us off as we get deeper into the weekend. I'll have the full forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, let's get a breakdown of yesterday's numbers in Kentucky. There were 333 new cases for a total of 18,245 positive coronavirus cases. 4 more Kentuckians have died. That's now a total of 612. Since the governor's news conference, we learned of 1 additional death in Clay County. It's now the 4th there. The last 3 days have marked 3 of the top 4 days for the total cases in one single day in the Commonwealth. Well, the National Retail Federation sent a letter to governors calling for mask requirements. Olivia Russell talked to Kentucky shoppers who will now have to cover their faces in stores at 5 tonight.
Now, pretty much everywhere we go, we'll have it on.
Masks are now mandatory in public, and several shoppers were already ahead of the game.
I just do it to be safe.
But not everybody is wearing one.
I see just a little bit of shoppers wearing them, but I feel like everybody should wear them.
While retail businesses have been open for a couple of months now, the guidelines only required employees to wear masks. The governor's latest executive order will now require shoppers to as well. He said the decision came after the National Retail Federation penned a letter to all governors asking for a mandatory mask order. It's a move that was also supported by the Kentucky Retail Federation.
We will work, to ensure that employees and customers are following, whatever order is put out.
Steve McLean from the Kentucky Retail Federation is hoping the new mandate will have clear guidelines, especially when it comes to enforcement.
The employees in the store are only following the rules that they have to follow to stay open. So, don't take it out on them.
So far, Kentuckians seem to understand the need.
I need to be protected, but I need to also protect everybody else. So.
In Lexington, Olivia Russell, WKYT.
Right now, the retail businesses can only operate at 50% capacity. The governor has not released a date for when more people will be allowed inside stores. Well, Health Commissioner Dr. Stephen Stack announced a new order yesterday designed to make it easier for people to get a COVID-19 test. The order, signed by Dr. Stack and Eric Freelander, does not require a clinician's order to get a test. That order is also not required for insurance companies to cover it, and getting a test does not count as a doctor-patient visit. Well, a step in the wrong direction. That is what the director of the Letcher County Recreation Center says happened at the beginning of July. I went over there yesterday to talk with him about what happened. At the end of June, Letcher County Recreation Center Director Jeremiah Johnston was optimistic.
The hopes got high, and then we just ripped the rug out from underneath them, within a few days.
The proverbial rug Johnston is talking about is the rollback of restrictions allowing the rec center to open up their basketball courts.
Everything's just come to a halt, We can't walk around anymore without being scared. We can't have the social interactions that we're used to.
When Johnston looked at new guidance at the turn of the month, the rules that opened the building to 50% and the basketball courts too were now changed.
We went to having everybody here to where we're back down to zero. Nobody's here. So one, it hurts the people that want to play basketball, and two, it hurts the revenue, to keep the rec center open.
That first day back, these courts were full of kids who had nowhere to turn the past few months.
Every one of them was out of shape. They'd run up and down the courts once or twice, and then they'd be out of breath, complaining, so.
But now that noise and scene is gone, hoping that the restrictions lifted for just a few short days are lifted again and soon. Now, the rec center restricts exercise classes to 10 people and are operating at only 33% capacity. Well, the Kentucky bar exam will look different this year. On Thursday, the state Supreme Court announced the bar exam will be administered online. Tests were originally scheduled for July 28th and 29th and September 20th and October 1st. Everyone currently registered for those exam dates will be automatically registered for a date in October. The Supreme Court says the State Office of Bar Examiners will tell test takers about the requirements for the online exam and how it will be given. Well, they flew off the shelves when the pandemic first hit. Now they are official. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has given its first approval to disinfectants that kill coronavirus. They are Lysol disinfectant spray and Lysol disinfectant max cover mist. The approval is based on lab testing that found when used on hard, non-porous surfaces, both products kill the virus 2 minutes after contact. Lysol says it is currently working on testing other disinfectant products against coronavirus. Well, the Rails to Trails project in Prestonsburg is on its way to completion. The project is an 8.5-mile trail for biking, hiking, and horseback riding. Mayor Les Stapleton has been working on the project since 2015, and now crews are bringing the plan to life. He says he is already getting good feedback from potential tourists.
People say, well, tourism this, tourism that. Let me tell you what's already happened. David's School turned their cabins into Airbnbs. They've already had people asking to stay there because of this trail and when it's coming. So what we're looking for is an impact.
The trail system is expected to officially open in August. Well, most people in Kentucky know the name Jeff Shepard as a former Kentucky basketball star, but nowadays he is busy doing something else. WYMT's Camille Gear explains.
Jeff Shepard has been named the most outstanding player of the Final Four.
You might know Jeff Shepard from his time on the basketball court, but recently he's been doing something different, reopening Daddy-O's in London.
A little bit difficult to sell ice cream in the middle of the winter, but now that the sun is shining and the weather's beautiful, people are wanting to get out of their homes finally, and so we're finally here to open back up.
Smiles and laughter fill the parking lot as kids enjoy shaved ice, milkshakes, and ice cream.
It's great. There's nothing like being a kid and being able to go get an ice cream, and shaved ice is really popular now with all these really fun flavors and everything, and so it's great for the kids.
And something new on the menu, a fan favorite, snow cream.
Just kind of reminds you of going outside in the middle of the winter and scooping up some snow and putting some vanilla in it and some milk and kind of the old-fashioned, snow cream.
But reopening during a pandemic and hiring staff, not an easy task.
It has been a little bit difficult, but we've got some wonderful workers that have joined us and doing a great job, and so I'm really proud of our workers for sure.
Trying to keep everyone safe while having a sweet treat.
London is my hometown. I love this place. I love the people here, and we love our new location. Hopefully this will be a fun little hangout, and the kids will enjoy it.
In London, Camille Gear, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Daddy O's is open from 1 to 8 and is located across from South Laurel High School next to Wendy's. Well, after canceling and postponing many events, the Appalachian Wireless Arena in Pikeville had some good news Thursday. The arena announced Rodney Carrington will perform November 7th. Of course, the arena has been in contact with local health officials for guidelines and procedures to follow. Senior Director of Sales and Marketing Josh Kessler said the facility will be sanitized before the event.
On Saturday, November 7th, going to be a great show following all the guidelines from the state and the health department. All the updates they have closer to the show. We'll definitely use those towards the show, whether that's masking or other measures.
Tickets go on sale Friday, July 17th. The arena will be at about 50% for now, as seats will be separated into groups for families only to coincide with social distancing.
6:14 on this Friday morning, and we're looking at some patchy dense fog, but not nearly as bad as it has been. So no major issues this morning, except maybe in Harlan County, right there along the borders of Harlan County, and then down toward Williamsburg if you're along I-75 going across Jellicoe Mountain into Tennessee. Be extra careful this morning. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, 68 Somerset and in Williamsburg, Jonesville and Wise too, 72 in Jackson, 70 here in Hazard, and over there in Hazard, used to being in the studio. 70 in Ashland, 73 in Prestonsburg, and 67 Harlan, Middlesboro, and Irvin this morning. Cold front moves in later today, slightly cooler behind it. A drier trend is setting up for the majority of the next few days, but the dry and cooler break will not last. I'll talk about it here in just a little bit. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Many states are rolling back their reopenings as much of the South and West is being hit particularly hard by COVID-19. How these states are trying to combat a rising number of cases.